Regina Kids Podcast presents Hey Dreamers.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, dreamers. So, the Regina Kids podcast presents Hey Dreamers, hosted by yours truly, Maxi. So, let's get into it. The Regina Kids podcast has been going strong for the last year and a half, but every so often, everybody needs to reset, rewind, revitalize their self and all of that. So while Regina Kids podcast is on a break, I the second half the second not the second piece to the puzzle here, the two-part sibling duo is now just one. Usually when we're on a seasonal break, we just pop out and then we pop back in. But due to the fact that there are so many things going on, so many things have happened. If you guys haven't had a chance to catch up on the Virginia Kids podcast, pause this, go back, rewind, catch up on binge listen to the Virginia Kids podcast so you can get to know me and my sibling and be all the way caught up. This is not a continuation of that show. This is, a little, just a little intermission. So normally everybody would be on a break, but I have so many things that I feel is important to me, especially during this month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I am a big advocate on people being healthy and happy and healed. So I wanted to deep dive into some of those things. Also, you guys, if you are new here and maybe you just found Hey Dreamers before you listen to the Virginia Kids podcast, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my title. I am a super producer, a three-time self-published author, broadcast media manager, and a podcaster, a corporate girly. I hold a lot of titles. I am the super auntie, yeah, so I have a lot of things going, but in this month, I am currently putting my books in audio form so that they can be on Audible for all the people who love to listen to podcasts and audio books and listen to stuff on YouTube instead of actually having a physical book and reading it. Now you will be able to get those stories and those wonderful things I did right in your headphones. So, with that being said, I am a three-time self-published author of three books. One being an affirmation book, so all my broken crayons still color, a daily affirmation book and a journal. Love you more. Grieving isn't easy and healing hurts. It's about the 5 stages of grief. And then we have my third book, which is the trilogy. I am not responsible for your tears. The Authentic Guide to Being Happy are all available now on Amazon Books and BarnesandNoble.com. Things about Barnes and Noble is you can get the first book in a hard copy at Barnes and Noble, which is not available at Amazon.com, and they are on Prime if you choose to buy them on Amazon. So, what is Hey Dreamers? First off, Hey Dreamers is a tagline to all of my videos that I post on social media, which you guys can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at underscore the Regina Kids Podcast or underscore Elnor Maxwell. With that being said, Hey Dreamers, we are going to focus on us. It's a me thing over here. meaning it's a you thing over there. We are focusing on health, healing, and everything in between. We're trying to get to a place in 2024 that we are truthful, purposeful, not letting people steal our joy or steal our peace. We are getting to a place of where at this grown up age, we have to do the things that make us happy. So, Hey Dreamers is all about promoting that to encourage and inspire and all of the above. So, we will be referencing music over here. We will be referencing poetry over here because I am a writer, so things will come to me that will spark the conversation for today's show. We also are really in tuned with ourself. So with that being said, because remember, hey dreamers, we worrying about me. We worrying about ourselves. So I also have some of my favorite scriptures or quotes or whatever. So we're gonna do all the above. And with that being said, let's start off with our quote. Well, actually, it's a scripture, one of my favorite scripture, which comes from Proverbs 4 and 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Again, that is Proverbs 4 and 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That is one of my favorite scriptures. It's also a tattoo I have to be reminded of it daily because you cannot walk around with an unhealed heart, a broken heart, a cold heart, because again, everything you do is flowing from that. So if you're in the process of being unhealed, everything that you do is going to be unhealed. It's coming from an unhealed place. If your heart is cold or if your heart is broken, if it's an ache in there, everything you do is coming from those places. So, above all else, we're going to guard our heart. Today's topic is called I Needed You. Now, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's also the month of Mother's Day. If you are new with Regina Kids podcast, our podcast was named after my mother. My mother passed last year, October 31st of 2023. So, being that she passed at towards the end of the year, it's been a rough time. It's really rough. I've known people who've lost their mother 10, 15 years ago, and it's still rough for them. It's the holidays, it's the birthdays, it's the everyday. Let's just be honest, it's the everyday. It's the celebrations that's coming up that she's not here for. It's all of it. So, in thinking about this introductory show, what came to me in my journal writing was this. Did she know I needed her? Did she know I loved her? Did she know I just wanted to make her proud? All of the things. Did she know? Did she know that I wanted her to be here to celebrate with me? Did she know I needed those daily talks? Did she know? She had to know, right? Like, did she know? That came to me because in thinking about this current holiday that's approaching this Sunday, um, those questions since she passed have been replaying in my mind all the time. Like, did she know I needed her? Like, did she had to know that I needed her? She had to know that I needed her here. She had to know it. And I realized that no matter how many daily talks we had, how many conversations we had going over, you know, with her being sick that um what she wanted me to do and how she wanted me to be, like all of those things replay back in my mind. But the question that keeps haunting me is, did she know I needed her to be here? Like, did she know that? Like, I needed her. Like, the good days, the bad days, all of the days, I was going to need her to be here. I have multiple friends that when we reached our 40s, our parents got sick. And a lot of our parents have passed away. And it was like, in thinking about when I was younger, like, I never even knew what I wanted to be or do, what I would be doing in my 40s. But not having any of my parents here, that wasn't on my agenda either. So that leads me to believe that we need to appreciate people. We need to live our life in a purposeful way. Um, Also, I'll be reading because I'm a creative. My mind is always going. I'm always overthinking this and that and whatever. But I also will be reading from my first book. And the way my first book is set up, you get an affirmation, you get a mantra that you repeat, and then you get words of wisdom from yours truly, me. The first affirmation in this book is, everyone has a story. Don't be afraid to tell yours. The mantra that we repeat is, I have a voice. I will speak my truth. And you in my mind, and I always say you repeat it till you feel good. So I have a choice and I will speak my truth. The wisdom that I provide is this: your story is unique. All your experiences make you who you are. Let your voice ring loud. Speak your truth. You owe it to yourself. I recall when I came up with that is because technically I'm a private person. I don't even know how I got in front of the camera because I was used to being behind the scenes and I was fine with the behind the scenes stuff. But the more and more that I did behind the scenes, the more and more God was pushing me out to let me know that my life is not my own. Meaning, if my books help one person to be encouraged and inspired, that's the affirmation book. If my second book, Love You More, helps somebody deal with grief and start their process of healing, if it my trilogy book, the last one, if it helps somebody hear the stories that I wrote about in that book and know that it's somebody else who went through the same stuff as me and they are not alone, if any of those books or any of the videos I put up or any of the things that I do in the background for the other podcast shows, if any of that is able to help just one person get through, even if it's just to get through the day, then me telling my story, the things that I endured through life is not in vain. So that's what Hey Dreamers is about. We want to you should want to be the light that helps push people through the dark. You should want to be that helping hand when people are too prideful or too stubborn, or in most cases too independent and do not want the feeling of disappointment of asking for help. You want to be that light. You want to be that helping hand. So with that being said, this was titled I Needed You because my mother had to know I needed her. She had to know that. Like, All our conversations, she knew that I loved her and I knew that she loved me, but I wasn't there's no way to prepare. There's no way to be like, I'm gonna do because I did feel like I did all the things. Like physically in my power that I could do. I spent all the times and every Sunday and every holiday and every New Year's and every chance I got, I brought her grandkids to come see her, or just I felt like physically I did all of the things and it still did not mentally prepare me for her not to be here. Like there aren't enough comforting words to make me feel like I can be that I'm okay without my mother being here, because there's so many things that go on that I need to share with her and that I wanted to talk to her. And that's the type of relationship that we had, because I felt like, why would she knew I needed her to be here? Like, why would you leave me here with her kids and her grandkids to drive me crazy? Like, why would she do that? Like, she knew I needed her. Shout out to them. They know I love them, but they also know they get on my last nerves and drive me nuts. But she knew that I needed her. And being that this show will air the week of Mother's Day is Sunday. And that's another thing with the Hey Dreamers, the Regina Kids podcast, because me and my sister are in two different states. We do a lot of batch recording, so things don't always come out in real time with Hey Dreamers, because this is like an intermission till the summertime, till Regina Kids podcast come back. I wanted to make it in real time. So in real time, y'all know what I'm going through as I try to get my books on audio, and they're being engineered and music is being added. It's an experience. Most of the things I do, a lot of times people call me the icing on the cake because I'm a little dramatic. I'm a little extra. So everything I do, because I'm striving for different. I don't ever want to be placed in a box and want it to be the same as everybody else. I tell my nieces all the time, be different, be you. Like your dreams and aspirations and your creativity is what makes you who you are. I've never been a follower or a trendy, is what I'm going to call it. Like somebody who follows all the trends or does what everything that someone else is doing. Everything I try to do, at one point I was being called the truth teller. I try to do it in truth and purposeful, because this is just who I am. So, and this is me in the raw, because I'm on here by myself and I don't have my sister on the other end to play off of. So when it was given to me that um this is what I have to do, this intermission, to get it all out, because I need to be all my moves in 2024 have to be my best moves. So in order to do that, the process of really, really healing, the process of really, really accepting that this is my new normal. I have to be, in order for the Regina Kids podcast to be a wonderful show, I can't go in there with a aching heart. I can't, because a lot of our subject titles and things that we discuss as siblings, because we're going to come from, the whole purpose of that show is to know that you can grow up in the same house with the same people, raised by the same people, and y'all can have two totally different experiences. In order for me to be open-minded about my experiences versus the same thing that my sister is going through with her experiences, I have to heal myself. I have to go through my grieving process. And for me, the loss of my mother has been a up and down type of grief. Cause some days I'm okay and it's okay to be okay. Well, other days I am not okay. I get labeled as mean, angry, ornery. Some days I just can't deal. I remember telling my sister, like, um, I fully like, people act like they can't understand how somebody could present to the world and be happy and then be on the inside, it's not happy. On the inside, you're fighting an internal battle with yourself. I fully understand that. And with that being said, we want our inside to reflect on the outside. So if we're not okay, then we just not okay today. But if we truly are trying to find that calm, that peace, that joy, that love, that type of stuff, if that's on the inside, because we're guarding our heart, we're making sure that whatever is flowing through it is joy, peace, love, happiness, all of that will show up on the outside. So, and I also want to encourage people to feel all the feels. Like, that was not a good thing for me to feel all the feels, but we are going to feel all the feels and we are still going to come out great on the end. God will give us the beauty for our ashes. So, whatever we think that was put here to destroy us is not going to destroy us because everything is working out for our good, no matter how bad it is. So, that's Hey Dreamers. Like, we're going to be in a creative space here. We are going to motivate and encourage. We're going to read affirmations. We're going to have quotes. We're going to read from, in the words of my sister, it's probably a nerd alert. Um, we're going to discuss books. You guys are going to go through this audiobook process with me. So, yeah, the Regina Kids podcast will be back in the summertime. So make sure you guys catch up, like, and subscribe on the YouTube channel, Regina Kids Podcast. You can listen to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you guys catch your podcast. And yeah, as always, we're going to continue to glow through whatever it is we're going through, and sweet dreams.